So I feel like I'm on the cusp of something really, really big. And I've been here a while now, and it's a little hard to put into words, right? Without sounding a little weird. It's almost like I remember who I really am, right? Like really am, right? Like secret of the universe real, right? So I'm like right there, and then I forget, right? Like so for that moment, perfect clarity, right? That connection to something that is just so much bigger than my everyday identity. And then like a vapor, it kind of just goes away, right? Life comes in. I start thinking about my business or money or my son or comparison, right? All the things I think I should be doing, right? And I'm asking myself all the questions, really, like, am I enough? Am I behind? Am I too different? Am I not different enough? It's exhausting, actually, and it's frustrating because that pure clarity that I had, like, literally just moments before, all of a sudden feels like forever away, right? Light years away. And I know that I'm not the only one who experiences this. Like, many of us have moments like these where something in us wakes up, right? Like, and even if it's just like that brief moment when we're in meditation or in nature on a walk, or just sometimes seemingly out of the blue, like we remember, and then we forget. We get pulled back into this 3D material world. And so for a long time, like, my goal was to stop forgetting. Like, can I stop forgetting already? Right? Like, that was my focus. How can I stop forgetting? I figured that one day I'd have some profound realization that would just permanently erase all that forgetting, right? I would just arrive into that full knowing. And I'd get upset with myself. Like, like, why do I keep forgetting? But recently I'm starting to wonder if that's the wrong question. Like, maybe the better question is, like, what is it that keeps bringing me back? Like, maybe there's something more to discover in that question. So a few days ago, I was reflecting on hexagram 60 in the I Ching, and that is about boundaries. And at first, I did not like the message, right? Because it talks about boundaries and discipline and like restraint. And part of me really resisted those themes because so much of my spiritual journey has been about exploring beyond boundaries. Like, if our deepest nature is infinite, like, why would boundaries matter? Right. But as I contemplated it further, like, a really interesting metaphor came to mind, about a violin. Like, if you think about it, a violin has tension, right? Like, without tension, it doesn't make music. So with too much tension, a string can snap. With too little tension, nothing resonates. So in a sense, that tension creates the boundaries for the instrument. But those boundaries don't limit the music that gets played by the instrument. Like, those boundaries are actually what makes the music possible. And so thinking about that really changed how I understood that message that I was getting. So, maybe in my spiritual practice, my goal shouldn't be to remove every boundary like I was trying to do, but to learn which ones help me resonate with that something that is greater than myself. Like, I really like that metaphor, and I kind of kept with it, right? Another thing that I thought about the violin, like, it isn't just tuned once, right? It's not a one and done deal. It's tuned again and again and again. Like, that's what a fine instrument requires. So that made me see my forgetting in just a much more compassionate way, right? Instead of focusing on that forgetting and making that mean that, something is wrong with me, or that, that complete remembering was just never going to happen for me. Instead of focusing on that, I can focus on what the remembering actually is. It's that consistent tuning of that beautiful instrument, right? We find that we have too much tension, or not enough, like, we're drifting one way or the other, and we simply notice, and then we return, right? Again and again and again. So, yeah, that is the practice. And I also realized something about comparison, because one of the quickest ways that I lose that sense of connection is by comparing myself to other people, right? Everyone always seems to be doing more or doing better, but all of that comparison pulls me away from my own experience. right? It pulls me back into that story of like who I think I'm supposed to be versus being able to connect with that who I really am. And it's sad and amazing kind of like how quickly like we just one thought can kind of just knock me out of tune. But the beautiful thing is that, simply noticing that is also part of the tuning, right? Noticing is part of that remembering, as is the returning, right? That's part of the remembering too. So, I admit I don't know exactly what it means to arrive. And maybe my experience isn't meant to be an arrival. Maybe it's about becoming that clearer instrument, right? Through which something bigger can be expressed. Because our instruments, our bodies aren't designed to contain the infinite, but we can definitely become more available to it. And that just feels more aligned to me. Less about chasing that big extraordinary experience and more about becoming someone who can recognize the extraordinary in the ordinary, right? The extraordinary that's in the practice and the tuning. So these days, when I find myself forgetting, I'm trying not to make that mean that I failed or that, I'm off track somehow. Instead, I'm reminding myself that the violin isn't broken. It just needs tuning and to trust that something really beautiful will be played through me. So I hope some of this resonates. Until next time.